Hey guys, this is Marcus from Core. Just a quick land use update on the Pike San Isabel travel management process. We were able to participate in an objection meeting yesterday afternoon. It lasted a little over 3 hours to state and go over not just our objections, but anybody else during the process that was identified as an objector. We all had a short period to make our case over certain areas, certain trails. So we gave them a lot of information, a lot of things to think about, a lot of compromise solutions that could be implemented to keep trails open, but also to mitigate issues. Patrick McKay, Core Advisory Board member, you should all thank him, take an opportunity to thank him. He did a lot of the heavy lifting yesterday, presenting a number of our arguments. I filled in on a couple different areas so that we could really get some specifics in there and get some extra time to talk. Thank you to TPA, Covco for supporting us. Car Springs Christian Four Wheelers also involved. They supported us yesterday, so thanks to everybody in that club. I don't know. It was a really fast meeting, even though it was 3 hours long. There's a lot of material to cover. Most of the objection areas speakers only receive 5 minutes of time to present their case. When you're talking about mapping errors on multiple areas, dozens of trails, that's not a lot of time to present specific information, highly detailed information. So obviously we had all of our written objections were in there, so they read those, and then we had a couple minutes to present on. We'll take a look here. You can see, I'll show you the outline of what the meeting was like and just go down the outline, give you a couple updates on what we talked about for trails, what our main points were, and then what the next steps are. All right, guys, as you can see here, this is a Pike San Isabel National Forest Motorized Travel Management Analysis Objection Resolution meeting that was yesterday. It just describes the overall meeting process and how that was going to go. Everybody followed really well, very respectful, all of the meeting attendees. As you can see, there's not a lot of time to get through these sections here. When you're only given a 10-minute block of time to talk about a single ranger district, that doesn't give you much time to go over fine points and details, like I said before. So, they did the welcome, the introduction, the expectations, the summary, the meeting process and how it was going to go. And then the first thing was the project-wide objection. So if you weren't objecting to individual trails and things on the ground, but more along the lines of how they did the entire project or how they were working their analysis, that was first. Patrick presented several things to that effect, through the travel analysis process and travel analysis reports that were created. There were a lot of errors. There were a lot of inaccuracies. So we talked there. Then moving into San Carlos, there was only one route that we discussed that was down by the Sand Dunes National Monument. None of the major routes. It wasn't Medano Pass or anything like that. It was a short side route that involved a lot of camping areas. South Platte Ranger District, we talked about Twin Cone and the issues of the upper part now being closed. And so we obviously objected to that. Hopefully they listened to us about reopening the top portion of Twin Cone. Salida Ranger District, there was some minor closures of routes that are not super popular that we talked about. We did talk about converting a couple of 50-inch connector routes to full-size motorized vehicles so that users could go back and forth between two trail systems. The one specifically was Chinaman Gulch, the road at the top of Chinaman that then connects back over to the Bald Mountain Gulch trail systems. We requested that to be changed to a full-size motorized trail. We'll see if they listen there. Leadville Ranger District, the big one there was Clossy Lake, one of our adopted trails. The anti-motorized groups hate that trail. They do not like it being a cherry stem into the Collegiate Peaks Wilderness area. There's some mapping issues at the start of the trail where the Forest Service had different routes for the entrance in different sections of their GIS layers. So a couple sections had the modern route that's been in place for over 40 years now. That the first of it was adjusted slightly to go around the Crescent Mining Camp, but then down by the creek and across, Clear Creek and Lake Creek there at the start of the trail. The old route used to actually go across a bridge, and you went down through the cabins and went straight and over a short section of rock outcroppings there. But that hasn't been the route for a very, very long time. And one of their map layers has that as the original route. So when Colorado drew the roadless areas, they included the start of the Colossi Lake Road, what we drive now. And so the anti-motorized groups like to point that out, that there's a road in roadless, as if we just made a new route and are driving in roadless, and that's obviously not the case. It's a mapping error. We talked a couple of things in the Pikes Peak Ranger District, Rampart Range area, South Park District. That one was a little bit more time here because they have 60 plus miles of roads that could be closed there. There was a lot of people spoke on the South Park Ranger District. We spoke about a number of different areas, around Alma, off of Mosquito Pass, Horseshoe Mountain area, and then a route that's not consistent with the Badger Flats decision. So, we talked there, and then moved down to Wildcat Canyon. We were happy that this one was included in its own category. So we'll see what happens there. Next, there was a forest plan amendment discussion for objections there. That was the 3A management zones that were drawn incorrectly on the 1984 forest plan map that included existing roads on the ground. The two most notable cases were Twin Cone. The upper Twin Cone was in a 3A management area, and also Lost Canyon was in the 3A management area. If you remember from some of our earlier videos, the forest has chosen to amend those, or the draft has chosen to amend those two areas to redefine them and not be a 3A management zone for those roads. Obviously Lost Canyon needs to be fully restored to the MVUM in its entirety, and we're fighting for use at the top of Twin Cone. So we'll see what happens there. Closing and next steps, they said they would take this information. This was a listening session, so this was a time for them to listen to, us describe our objections and then solutions to those objections to help with management. We feel we did a good job with that. For them to take all that back, work through their review team, and then provide us direction and basically their decision by March 8th. So this is a couple weeks away. We'll be waiting for that. We'll keep you guys updated and let you know right away what happened. So thanks to all the Corps members out there, our business sponsors, Corps Advisory Board, everybody that supported us, the other organizations. And yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can keep trails open.